Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. All praise and adoration belongs to Allah, the one and only. We ask Him to shower His blessing and His mercy on His Prophet Muhammad, his house, His companion, and the general of all Muslims in double accountability. Inshallah, today we shall be looking at a very vital topic, which is adabu at-tahiyya, etiquettes of greeting or salutation. In Islam, every actions, every deed has its manner of approach, has its etiquette. You want to go to the toilet, you want to sleep, you want to travel, you want to eat, you want to sell, you want to buy, you want to meet your wife, anything, just mention it. There are etiquettes. That is what is called man amila bila ilmi yufsid akthar mimma yuslih. If you engage in any dates, anyone who uphold any dates and doesn't have the clue, without knowing the do's and don'ts, without knowing the etiquette, is going to commit more error than good. And to avoid error, that is why we need to know what are the do's and don'ts, what are the etiquettes of greeting our religion. Number one is greeting is so essential in Islam. It's part of our deeds, part of our deen. That is why we have peculiarity of greeting in Islam. And one of the peculiarities is saying, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Number one is the greeting is prayer. It's not just ordinary greeting, it's prayer. Assalamun, it means may the peace and the blessing of Almighty God be upon you. And when they be, and how do you respond? Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. That is Islamic way of greeting. And there is evidence in the Quran. Allah said, when you are being given tahiyya with taslim, you should respond with same measure or beyond such measure. So the first one is, as Muslim, you should adopt this manner of greeting. It's a prayer, it's a blessing for you. You know, we have other way of greeting according to our tradition, according to, civilization that we think we adopt today. Good morning, good afternoon, ekaro, ekaso, and the likes. But the one that is originality, that is endorsed by our Creator, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is that taslim we just mentioned now. So, after this has been established, how do we greet? Rasulullah said that Yusallu kabir, Sagir ala kabir. The small one should first greet the elderly. The younger one should greet the elderly. Wasagir wa qalila ala kathir. And the small group should first greet people in a large group. And the person on riding should greet the person trekking. If you are on a horse or you are riding, driving your car or your vehicle, your bicycle, you should be the one to greet the person, strolling or trekking. It's one of the etiquette. A younger one should greet the elderly. That is what Islam established. You don't expect an elderly person to first greet you. It's you that greet them. And number 2 is, if you say Assalamu alaikum, you have reward. And that is 10 reward. If you say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, that is 20 reward. And we say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah barakatuh, that is 30 reward. There is reward attached to every greeting in Islam. And it's compulsory that when greeting is extended to you, you respond as Muslim. Assalamu alaikum, you don't say wa alaikum. Wa alaikum assalam. That is 10. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. 20 reward. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah barakatuh. 30 rewards. That is what Islam has established. We greet. And if you greet, next thing is when you greet, the best is to have a handshake alongside with it. So that's what I said that when you meet a brother, you say taslim to him and you have a handshake with him, all your minor sin will be washed away from you. A drop from that hand. So it's another means of washing away of, expiation of sin, minor sins. You have a handshake with a brother, male to male, female to female in terms of a handshake. Not male to female. You don't have a handshake with opposite sex in Islam. You greet, she greets back. And after that, as far as Islam is concerned, are we allowed to say taslim or respond to taslim from the non-Muslims, perhaps Christian or idol worshippers or Jew? No, we are not allowed to say taslim to them. You greet them in their own way. If they say good morning, you tell them good morning. Or bonjour. Ça va bien, merci. You greet them their ways. But when they say taslim to you, you say wa alaikum. You say wa alaikum. That's what you say to them. That's what Islam has established. To the extent that even when you pay visit to Muslim burial ground, graveyard, you say taslim. When you come into your room, you say taslim. Even when there's nobody at home, you say taslim. When you go to neighborhood house, you knock the door and say taslim. You don't go in, you're allowed to come in. If you're not allowed to, you're allowed in, you don't go inside. You say taslim and they respond to you. And that is what Islam preaches. This taslim is so germane, it's so essential. So please, let's try as much as possible to adhere to this manner of greeting. It's very benefiting. It's very, 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 useful and rewarding. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive our shortcomings and accept this as an act of worship. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.